So I saw this morning in the news that Trump made English the official language of the United States. Man, he must be making so many people mad because he's just doing all the stuff, that his enemies hate, or people like more on the progressive side. They must be fucking pulling their hair out. Now, most people probably think it wasn't already, and no, it never was. In fact, they used to make a big deal about that, about how great that was, that there was no official language because it's a melting pot. This country is a melting pot of all other nations. Yeah, because when it was founded by white Europeans from the UK, they didn't set it up as a fucking melting pot. And then they always talk about how, they stole the land from the Indians and this and that. So it's okay for them, but as soon as the white people are done their shit being evil, then it's a melting pot. It's a melting pot after that. It was a melting pot after that. It's just funny. And then you have the Statue of Liberty out in New York Harbor, which is actually, it's a man, you can see it. Look at it, it's actually a man who says, give us your weak, your poor, all this stuff. Like, the person that would have a statue that said that is the same person that would talk about having a melting pot be your nation. Your enemy, right? Your enemy would say that and do that. Your enemy would be the one that would say it's a great thing to not have an official language. People you have to watch out for would set you up like that. The transgender statue in New York Harbor. I mean, you look at that thing. It's a guy in drag. I mean, even as a kid, I kind of thought, I'm like, that's an ugly woman. And you see girls on like patriotic holidays, hot chicks dressing up as a Statue of Liberty, and it always like it's kind of a cognitive dissonance thing. It's like, oh wow, who's that supposed to be? That's you, Ross? And you're like, oh no, oh yeah, that's right. That's the Statue of Liberty. If she's a womanly person portraying it, it doesn't seem right in your head because even though you may not know it, in your head inside you see a man because you know what a fucking man looks like. Flat-chested, the facial bones. There's not a feminine face. Schmockery. Even schmockery, I think even. And it's been fetishized throughout history, like in the case of, women dressing up, like in the lovely Lady Liberty on Sesame Street. I remember that. With her book of recipes. And the finest one she's got is the Great American Melting Pot. Awful. Even then, Sesame Street, they're trying to fuck up your head. Trying to fuck your head up. David Lee Roth has that song fetishizing the Statue of Liberty too, called Yankee Roast. Pretty good song. I saw him on that tour. It was awesome. Oddly, the Satanic Bible, at the very end of the book, once it has its last paragraph, I don't remember what the last paragraph is, but I never studied that thing. I never read it. I don't care. I get the gist of it. But after the last paragraph, there's a lot of space. And there's two words that end the book. Yankee Roast. Those are the last two words. in the Satanic Bible. Why? I don't know. No idea. Maybe a Satanist could let us know. But actually, no, I don't care. I don't care why. I just think it's kind of funny. There's a connection there, though. You know. Can I make this? Can I make it in time? Let's see. I think so. I think I can make it. Yeah, we got it. Gonna stop by Nia's work. I'll pick it up after I'm done that. If I had a wheat penny for every time I said in my head, there goes the neighborhood. Today alone, I would have 11 and a half cents. Because they're worth half, I think they're worth half of a penny. Yeah, I wouldn't have much, I guess. You ever notice how the old quarters, a lot of you probably already know this, but the old quarters had like a ridges on them around the outside of them, like a scoring, like they were lined. They don't do it anymore because quarters aren't real silver, but there was a time when quarters were silver, and they had to put the ridges in there because the Jews would, and this is a real thing, this isn't just like some like meme thing, they would scrape the outside of the quarters to get silver shavings off, and they would save all the shavings in a container or a bottle or something, and then get it melted down to sell the silver. And so they had to start putting those ridges on the corners to keep them from doing that. In fact, one of the 109 times they got kicked out of a country, actually they got kicked out of several countries for doing that, you know, and other things like that. Imagine that. You get booted out of 109 countries. So what finally happened was they said, we don't want to get kicked out of countries anymore. They go, well, we'll create our own country. So with the help of the crown, they made this country. One they couldn't get kicked out of, and one they could use to launder money, to transfer power, to get wealth from, that they can then transfer over to their homeland. They, of course, run the government. They're in every level of government. They've always run it. People talk about, well, the Freemasons formed it, George Washington. They are the Freemasons. They're everything, you know. What are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. It's just, you know, you should still know. Just keep it in mind, you know. It's good to keep that stuff in mind. I mean, I hold a little bit of a grudge because of the dick thing. I'm never gonna forgive them for that. There's no need to forgive them. I was against my will, knowledge or consent, made to participate in a religious sacrifice to Moloch. Moloch, basically, the long story short, wanted the sons, you know, of people. They wanted him to turn over the sons, and they're like, well, no, because how are we gonna do business if you don't have the sons? You know, they've got to earn some money. So he said, well, I'll take the next best thing. I'll take the dick. And indeed, the part of the penis that gets circumcised, that gets cut off, is the best part. And it also makes the appendage worse. It makes it function worse. Causes all sorts of problems. And they always use that excuse like, oh, it keeps you from having a child. There's no fucking evidence of that. There's a lot of evidence, though, that it can cause injury. And if you do it the traditional way, babies have died doing it the traditional way, the way the Jews do it. I think most of you know how they do it. I don't know if I could get away with explaining it because it's You know, I don't know what I can get away with anymore. I'm not really sure. I guess I don't know until I get the ban, until I get the message in my creator app saying you have a week off. Again, like, I'm just passing along information. You know, anytime it's like I could talk about anything, but certain groups you can't pass along information about. Like if I'm talking about Africans or even LGBT people, I'm not like doing it like, oh, I think they're this because that, fuck them. I'm just passing along information. But there are protected classes here in the society, and all you have to do is evoke the names of these different groups, and all of a sudden everybody's ears perk up. What are you saying? What are you saying over there? Are you on Twitter? Do you say this on Twitter? What's going on? Where are you from? How long have you been on Twitter? You know what I mean? So it's you gotta be careful. I think it's been a lot better now since Trump said he was going to hold these sites accountable for censorship. The robot guy, the Facebook guy, he pulled it up like a French card table. He was just saying, yeah, okay, we're not doing that anymore. All the fact checkers are gone. And the first fact checkers, that I would post things that I know is 100% true, and I'd have, like, I could back it up. And no, they'd say it's some kind of false news. I had this picture of the Obamas on Epstein's pedo island thing, or it looked like that's where they were. They were standing, and in the distance was a building that looked an awful lot like that building there, the one that Ellen's stage set is kind of based around. It's so funny, like all this stuff is right out in the open. And yeah, oh yeah, that reminds me, I'll get to it in a minute, but I want to talk about that Epstein stuff. So they immediately jumped on it, and you know, the photo got taken down, I got a warning, whatever. So then I took the photo and I edited the Obama family out of it, and I put Trump in there with his son and Melania, their family basically, in the spot where the Obamas were. And never heard a word about that. Never heard a word about it. And when it was Obama, there's no proof that they were on the island, blah, blah, blah. Like this big, long rigmarole. And then I just immediately put up a Trump version. I didn't hear anything. I think maybe like they had an algorithm that would search for his face, because they can pick faces out easily. You know, I have in my gallery, in my Google gallery, it puts pictures with me in it all together in one folder because it recognizes my face. And all my other friends and family, or who's ever in these photos, gets their own folder. Occasionally, it'll check with me, like, is this so-and-so? And if I say, yeah, it is, it just helps them make their thing better, their algorithm better. And people are like, well, why would you help them? But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. At that point, it's only going to be help me, for my convenience. Because it's, I mean, what are you going to do? You'd have to have not only pull yourself off the internet in every conceivable way, but you would have had to never gotten on it in the first place, like I did in 1995. It's impossible. You know, at that point, you know, that's just it. So you might as well go along with some of this stuff to make your life online easier, because it's really all it does for me. In that case, it, you know, puts all my lovely pictures together. So when I look, I'm like, oh, that's me. Because it's in the folder. It's in the folder. Must be me. The Epstein shit that was released, or Trump pushed to release, you're not going to learn anything from that. There's no reveals coming. Nothing's happening with it. It's been out like over a day now, and there's been no reveals. The thing is, right, with AI, this is the thing I was thinking a lot about, is that a lot of the way he would do blackmail, and how and Mossad would blackmail people, is through videos and photographs, and they'd get them at these parties doing all this heinous shit, and then they have videos of them doing all this heinous shit. So it's blackmail, you know, to keep them in their pocket. But now with AI, you can take a picture of someone and make a video from just a picture of them doing fucking anything. I don't think it would let you do like sex type stuff. Or maybe you can, if you know how to do that, your way around the things that are in place to keep that from happening. But it could put someone in any incriminating situation you wanted with whoever you wanted. So it kind of makes me wonder, like, how is that stuff going to hold now? You know, the blackmail stuff. I think if anything, they would have to try to find something more extreme. Like, you might not just be having relations with a minor or something, you're deleting a minor. So if they're gonna dig that far out to pull images up to frame someone or say, look at what he did, they can't really do that, because they'd be like, well, why do you have pictures of this? What the fuck's going on? Now Trump, you know, ultimately he's with them. There are two sides in this whole fucking world. There's us, and there's them. That's it. Us. And the Saturn worshippers. I can't believe fucking Roger Waters redid that whole album. I love Roger Waters. I think he's awesome. I like his whole thing. I like his stance on stuff, and like how outspoken he is, and, you know. But that was not a good idea to do what he did. I don't know what that was about. Maybe some kind of licensing thing, or to relicense, to put the songs kind of under his control again in some way, or these versions of them. I don't know. Usually when bands recut their old songs or put out a new version of something, it's for business reasons. Like if someone wants to license, you know, Iggy Pop's Lust for Life, well, Iggy has licensed Lust for Life for Carnival Cruises. But he could just record his newer own version of Lust for Life, and instead of having to pay the holders of the rights holders of that track, it would all go to him. You know, so bands re-record their songs so that they get the royalties from it, or that they can have the ability to put it in things that the original rights holders might not let them. Like CM Punk, he uses Cult of Personality from Living Colour, who I saw here in Honolulu back in 2018. They were great, but the fucking experience was shit. But, yeah, because it's fucking the club. Oh my god. I don't know if I want to get into that. But anyway, they recut Cult of Personality so that he can use it in his entrance. They don't have to go to whoever holds that. Because, I mean, just guessing, it was on their first album, they were a new band. You usually don't have much control over your stuff, and sure someone else owns that. You know, that track, whether it's whoever published it. So they use it for that too, but it's usually for business reasons. I always very aware when there are garbage men around. You gotta watch those guys. They're dangerous. Yeah, I couldn't see anything. I was standing on the corner there and sunny out. And I gotta check the screen sometimes because lately, like, I've been walking and talking, and like when I'm editing these things, I'm looking, I'm just like, my camera's on the ground, or it's like completely out of focus. So I'm trying to keep my eye more on the screen. But the fuck was I talking about? Huh, I guess it couldn't have been that interesting because I don't know what the fuck I was saying. Yeah, the fake stuff going on there. The war thing, killing white men. Have a good day, brother. Yeah, that's basically where I was at. Yeah, they just want to kill off more white people. They're on a kill phase right now. If you hadn't noticed with the Cove thing from a couple years ago, and this bloody war in Ukraine, with Russia. They're getting rid of their hated enemy, the true sons of Abraham, which they have to get rid of because they're pretending to be the sons of Abraham themselves. So it's kind of awkward having us around, So they have to, there's a lot of reasons. They have every reason. What are you going to do though? Not much you can do. Just look out for yourself, your family. Do what you can do. Just keep control of what area you can. Those assholes are just gonna do whatever the fuck they want. Fuck them. Our job really is just to point and laugh. I'm done pointing and laughing for now. I gotta go in and take a shower, get out of this sun. See you in a little bit. Until then, don't blame the teacher, blame the school.